Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Today's question was actually suggested to me by a couple of people in a very short time frame, which leads me to believe that maybe this actually came up in an actual Magic game that took place in some sort of public or semi-public arena. Amy plays an Hour of Devastation, while Nick controls a Tekuthal that has an Indestructible counter on it. Does the Tekuthal survive? Okay, so if we have a look at what's going on here, we can see that there's two different effects at play. The Indestructible counter wants to give Tekuthal Indestructible, and the Hour of Devastation wants to take it away. Both of these are continuous effects that apply in Layer 6, and so that means that we're going to have to take a look at the timestamps in order to decide what order that they apply. Based on the information from the original problem statement, we can say that the Indestructible counter has an earlier timestamp, so it will apply first, giving Indestructible to the creature that it's on. After that, the Hour of Devastation will take Indestructible away from that creature, and that means that that's the answer to our question. The Tekuthal will die because it does not have Indestructible anymore. Okay, so there's a couple of interesting points that I wanted to talk about before I signed out. Number one, if you had any other kind of thing that was giving Indestructible to the Tekuthal, like, for example, an enchantment or an equipment or an aura. Wait, really? That name is very misleading. So anyway, if you had any of those things working on the Tekuthal to give it Indestructible, the ruling would be exactly the same, and the reasoning would be exactly the same too. All of those use continuous effects to apply in the same layer in order to give Indestructible to the thing that they affect, and that means that they would be subject to exactly the same reasoning as what we had just talked about with the Indestructible counter. Another kind of interesting fact is that if you have an effect that takes indestructibility away from a creature, well, guess what? That will take away all instances of Indestructible from that creature. And so that would mean that the Tekuthal would not survive even if it had a second Indestructible counter on it. Another kind of interesting fact is that the counter is still on the creature, even though it's been rendered inert until the end of turn when the Hour of Devastation effect wears off. So that's not going to help Tekuthal very much, but let's say that we had a Zoppendrol, and that has one extra toughness, which means that it would be able to survive the Hour of Devastation. So that would mean that if you were able to deal one more damage to it, then it would die because it has 6 toughness and it has 6 damage marked on it, and it's not indestructible. Now, there is a potential blowout that you need to be careful of though. That would be if you were to add another Indestructible counter to the Zoppendrol in response to that damage or any time before. So the reason why that works is because the new Indestructible counter would actually have a later timestamp than the Hour of Devastation. And so that would mean that it would give Indestructible to the creature after Hour of Devastation had taken it away. The exact opposite scenario as what we had in the original problem statement because the timestamps are in the other order. That would be a pretty big blowout for somebody who wasn't expecting it. Unfortunately, this trick is not going to help Tekuthal out very much. That's because it only has 5 toughness, which means it's lethally damaged by the Hour of Devastation. There is not any point in time where a player would have priority to cast spells or activate abilities after the Hour of Devastation has removed Indestructible from Tekuthal, but before state-based actions destroy it, and that means that it would be very difficult to get this trick to work. Off the top of my head, I was not able to come up with any ways that you could make it happen unless you were to somehow modify the amount of damage that the Tekuthal was taking or its toughness. If anybody in the comments has any great ideas about how to do this, definitely let me know. But that's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again next time for another daily ruling, but until then, I hope you have a great day.